Okay, everyone. Welcome to this week's live stream demo. I'm going to be doing a couple of quick exterior studies on the rideshare vehicle that I've been doing. Patience. Okay. So I know most of you have been doing this in Fusion. I'm going to show you a couple of ways that I do this that are applicable to how you could do it in Fusion. And then a couple of things you can do exclusively in Gravity Sketch. So, I've got in my layers here that this is the interior I did last week, if you remember that. And so I'm gonna just for the sake of keeping things simple, I'm going to turn off my interior, and I have my exterior on its own layer. So, and I still have my curves from the sketch. So I'm going to go into my, I'm going to do a couple of different versions. So the first version I'm going to do is using primitive shapes. And I'm going to select subdivisional. So basically I can start with a cube, a subdivisional cube. Okay, and okay, great, awesome. Thanks, Sheila. Okay, so I'm going to start with a cube, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this at the, I'm going to snap it to the center. Okay, and bring the sides in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is just turn this layer into a slightly transparent layer. And I'm going to give this thing a different color so we can see it against the gray background. So I'm going to give it a white. Okay, so now it's a cube that's snapped to the center. Great. Hi, Vincent. Good to have you. A cube that's snapped to center. And I'm just going to double check, make sure everything is more or less square. It doesn't really matter at this point. So I'm just in basic principle. So I have the subdivisional level turned off, which means that it's in box mode. So in sub D mode, it kind of looks like this egg shape, which is exactly what the car is supposed to look like. So I'm going to turn subdivisions off again. I'm just going to get this cube more or less aligned at the center. I'm going to turn on my grid here and just move it. That just keeps it aligned to center. Yeah. Just making sure everything's still aligned to center. Okay. Okay, and then turn the grid off. Using the grid tool in Gravity Sketch is the only real way to be able to move things precisely. If you're trying to maintain a certain level of precision. So now I have the cube sort of positioned more or less in the dimensions of the exterior. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to pull it all the way to the ends here and to the top. So I have a cube that's essentially representing the length, width, and height of this vehicle. If I turn on my subdivisional, you'll see that it's looking very, very egg-like, but not exactly in the shape that I want. So I'm gonna go back into my layers. I'm gonna turn it back to full opacity. So now I can really see. Now I can really see what I'm looking at here. So. In Fusion 360, you would go ahead and start to insert edges. So I'm going to in Gravity, it's pretty simple. You just click on a row of polys, and all of a sudden you have edges. So you can see that I've just added an extra row of edges this way and an extra row of edges this way. It's just going to give you a little bit more control. Now I'm going to start to grab this side here and bring it back, and bring this side back. And now it's starting to more or less look like my theme. And I'm just going to add another one down here. So you can see very quickly, I've got something that represents the size and shape of my sketch. Bring this back a little bit. This might be a good technique to use if your intent is for your model to be more of a more of an experience image. So meaning that you're not trying to sell a design theme. You're trying to you're really more trying to communicate an experience. Just bring the bottom of the vehicle down to encapsulate this battery pack. There. So it's just a very quick study. You can see it's more or less following my my original sketch lines. I'm going to go ahead and like tumble this in a little bit. You can see very quickly I have something that I can sketch over. So, I guess another great use for a quick model like this is you can sketch over it. If you're trying to work out some details, some graphics, things like that, you just have something very quick. I'm going to go ahead and give this thing a little bit more definition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this guy here, and I'm going to extrude out to get that little bustle. Let's try extruding this one, and no, let's do both of them. Let's turn our polygon view on. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is get that little rear bumper feature. So I'm just going to go ahead and re-bridge this, and bridge that. Please feel free to ask any questions that you have along the way. I'm going to go ahead and add insert point. This would be insert point in Fusion. I'm just going to redraw this topology a little bit, so I can get rid of this. Three-sided shape here. Make it four-sided. The Gravity Sketch is really cool because, I mean, just the interface is such that you save so many steps along the way. So you know, it just seems like what takes 3 or 4 steps in Fusion takes takes like 1 or 2 in Gravity. So it just seems to really speed things up. Okay, so turn our polygons back on. So it's starting to look a little more like the sketch. Okay, so just gonna add a little bit more just to tighten that transition up. I'm just trying to get it to where that where that sketch line is. So I'm going to tighten up the rear corner here. Again, insert edge. That would be insert edge in Fusion. So very quickly you have something that you can sketch over. It's quite complete already. And I can tell already that I'm not liking the length of the nose here, so you can easily grab those polys and just, so I'm going to use the, shift them back. I think I can take a bit of length out of there. So it's looking better. Yeah, looking good. So, okay, I'm just looking at the questions here. Okay, Mazur asks, why is it important to work using quadrilaterals instead of triangles? Okay, it's just the way polygons work. So I'll demonstrate here. I'll artificially create a 3-sided shape, and you'll see what happens. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. This is my flashlight. So in Gravity Sketch, you've got this flashlight. You can look at your surface from different points of view. And I wanted to use that to demonstrate what a 3-sided polygon does. Sometimes three-sided polygons are necessary, but more often than not, they cause trouble in your surface. So I'm gonna artificially create. Here's my tool set. Okay, so this cut tool is what insert point would be in Fusion 360. This merge tool just takes, if you want to combine 2 different bodies together, you just click on these 2 bodies with the merge tool, and then you can start treating them as one body. So this would be your insert point, and I'm just going to create this 3-sided polygon right there. Okay, so now I have this 3-sided polygon, and I have a 5-sided polygon down here. So let's see what happens. Not too bad. Let's just create another one just to demonstrate here. Create one here, and you can see you're starting to get some. If I shine the light on the corner here, starting to get some funky surfaces. If I do it again here, I'm just creating all kinds of horrible geometry here. Let's try it again up here. Okay, so I just created some really wonky geometry, and you can see what happened. I got these little knobs on the roof of the car. You can see it just got bumped on the head. So you can see what 3-sided polygons do, and it's not pretty. So to maintain a nice, smooth, continuous surface, try to stay with as many 4-sided polygons as you can. So I'm just going to back up here. And delete that one as well. Try to keep as many 4-sided polygons as you can, just because it's good practice. You get smoother, cleaner surfaces that way. Um, sometimes a 3-sided or 5-sided polygon is necessary to achieve a certain transition. So for example, back here, if I wanted this bumper to blend out a different way, I might, let's say, let's see, yeah. So let's just get rid of this guy here. So now I've just gotten rid of that corner. So now I've got this cleaner execution of the corner, but I've still got that bump out at the center line. That might be an intentional use of a 3-sided shape. And I can take the bottom back out. So you can see it changed my whole center line. I actually kind of like that better. It's a nicer, cleaner corner. Yeah, I like that. I could smooth it out even more by deleting that one. And we're back to all 4-sided shapes. But now we have a 5-sided, 5-star intersection. That can also cause some issues as well. But again, depending on where it is in the in the topology, it's not always a bad thing. So I think I like the tighter look of this 3-sided one though better. So okay, so that's a nice simple representation of the exterior. This would be great for perhaps for more of a user experience type of image. I can ghost the exterior and I can turn my interior back on. So so I have this very, very nice, easy, simple representation of the interior and exterior together. So it could be that kind of image. Maybe maybe I've got an image where or just having the exterior and the mannequin could be good. But it could be also where you have maybe you have in a user experience type of scenario, you've got you want to have like someone standing next to the car, maybe there you go. And maybe he's got his phone and he's got his phone and he's activating the car. So there you go. Yeah. User experience. Some quick and easy ways to illustrate how this might work out. So I'm going to go ahead and move this guy over to my package layer. And actually, no, I'm going to put it in the interior layer. Okay. So so I can get him back in later. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you maybe a different way to achieve a similar result. This might take a little more time, but give you a little more control. So what I'm going to do is turn on my grid. I'm going to duplicate this car, and I'm going to so got my grid turned on. Any questions? Nope, no more questions. Okay, so I'm going to grab the whole chassis here. I've got and I'm just going to duplicate it and slide it forward. Okay. And I'm going to grab going to lock this layer. I'm going to unlock my lines. And I'm going to group them and duplicate them. Not quite lined there. Oh, no. There we are. So now I have a duplicate of the same car. So I'm going to show you how I would do this more as a proper model with wheel arches and things like that. So I'll more of the actual theme. So I'm going to save this again. Okay. I'm going to go into my settings, turn on my mirror, turn off my grid again. So, and I'm going to go into my tool set. So this is where I would approach this more as a proper polygon model. I'm turning on sub D. So basically I'm just going to create a ribbon, a stroke ribbon that follows the center line. Okay, so I have a, okay, just I keep glancing over at my my screen just to see if there's any more questions in the chat box. So please feel free to ask questions as I go here. Okay, so now I have a sub D ribbon, and this is something that I do in Fusion as well, often to start a model. Is to start with a sub D ribbon or a series of ribbons. It's sort of like building a wireframe. So here I'm going to join the polygons together at the center line. Looks like we're all stitched together. And I'm going to grab this row and bring it out and get myself some width here. Now you can see, you know, when I sketched that center line, I built it a little too low for the wheels. So I'm going to grab those, bring them up. And then I'm just going to go in and just manually try and align everything. Now in Fusion, what you can do is you can grab all these points and you can use the scale tool, get them all on the same plane. It's something that Fusion doesn't have. Or I'm sorry, that Gravity doesn't have, but Fusion does have. So there are certain advantages to Fusion, but it's so easy in Gravity to just edit everything manually. And so what I'm just trying to do is get everything aligned. The rear is too low as well, so I'm going to bring that up. So I have this ribbon that represents the center line of the vehicle. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take this row and extrude out another row here. And now I'm just kind of trying to work it into that windscreen. You can see I'm watching this plan view line on the front corner. I just realized that this surface is transparent, which means that I'm not on the same layer as that one. So let's fix that. Let's see, I'm on the lines layer, so I need to grab this thing and put it in the surface layer. There we go. Now it's opaque, and I'm going to lock the lines layer, go into the exterior layer, and unlock it. There we go. So now we're in the correct layer. And I'm just trying to get everything aligned with that center line. I'm in the manual editing mode here. Okay, there we go. Okay. Any questions? Everybody doing okay? Everybody still picking up when I'm laying down? Everybody still reading me loud and clear? All right. I'm gonna keep going here. Okay. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build a set of wheel arches. So wheel arches in more of a finished model, a set of wheel arches is very important. So I'm going to start with there. It doesn't have to be, thanks, Mazer. Doesn't have to be perfect because I can always edit it back into shape here. Again, I'm using the wireframe as a guide. You don't necessarily have to work to a wireframe. I just happen to have it, so I'm using it. Usually I don't have a wireframe. What you can do is you can build what I'm essentially doing is I'm building a wireframe with these sub-D ribbons. So a lot of times I'll start a model by just building a series of sub-D ribbons like that, and then just kind of join things together. So I'm just going to grab I'm going to grab this and just extrude a. I'm going to use the grid again. I'm going to set the grid density way down here. So I just want to put a little lip on. I'm going to have to do this with sub D off. Okay, there we go. There. I was just trying to create a little bit of a. Oh, let's try that again. One more time. There. Just trying to create a little bit of a lip in there. And I'm just going to put an extra a little extra poly in there. So now when I turn it on, it's starting to have a crispness to it. So I actually think I want to tighten this up a little bit. So I think this wheel arch is a little too big for that tire. Okay, it's starting to look pretty good around that tire. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it, take it to the rear. Turn on my grid again, set my grid density down, and I'm just going to duplicate that sucker and bring it back. It doesn't need to be perfect, just close. Oop, I didn't want to duplicate it again. There. You can see that rear. Now I have a pretty consistent size of the wheel arch, front to rear. This rear one needs a little editing. Actually, let's turn that grid back off. Grid snap. That's what it does. Grid snap. You see the curve that I did for that rear wheel arch way off as far as being round and consistent. Okay, close enough. Let me tighten it up down here a little. Tighten it up down here a little bit. Okay. So now I have some pretty good basic geometry. What I'm going to do now, since that doorway is such a feature in the design, I'm going to go ahead and build a sub-D ribbon for that. You can see I can't really flip my hand over, so I'm going to have to do this in two pieces here, and I can join them together. Okay. So in Gravity Sketch, what I need to do is turn these two ribbons into bodies, into one body that can be combined. So what I do is I grab my little toolkit here and I use the merge tool and I just click on that one, and now I didn't want the wheel arch yet. Okay, so now I can like actually join these together. I can just bridge them together. Like that. There. Easy peasy. And do the same in the rear here. And I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete these because it's just creating a really sharp corner. So now these things are twisting and turning all over the place. So it'll take a little bit of editing to get those right, but ooh. I'll delete this one. Oop. There. Don't need. Try to do everything you can to keep the number of polygons as small as necessary. We'll probably do a bit of editing down here as I start to merge everything towards the wheel arches. So no point in getting too perfect. Hey, Chance, nice of you to join us. Okay, so I've created a sub-D ribbon for the so this doorway, this portal. no reference intended to the Chrysler portal concept. But so again, just to recap what we're doing here, the first model is basically just I started with a cube and a rounded cube, and I just stretched and pulled it into the general shape of the car, and that's really good for sort of this quick, either a package study or something you might want to sketch over. It could be for user experience type images. This second one is more of like a proper model, like a model of the exterior that I have in mind. So the next thing I want to do is start to join some of these elements together. So I'm going to save what I have here. Okay, so I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to use my merge tool, and I'm going to merge it with that portal shape. So when you're starting to combine bodies together, one thing that you want to try and do is align the polygons. So you'll see that I have a row of polygons here and here, and then down here I have a similar row of polygons here and here, but then I've got this extra row here. That's going to cause problems when I start to try and join things together. So I have two choices. I can either try and get rid of this one and this one, or I can add polygons here and here. So let me start with getting rid of these. Oh, didn't want to do that. Let's try and get rid of this one first. And you can see it altered my intended geometry. Let's get rid of this one too and see what we've got here. Okay, so it altered my intended geometry, but I think I can just grab these two and pull them up. You know, just grab them and pull them up closer to back to what I want. So now I have an equal number of polygons, equally spaced. So now when I start to join things together, it's gonna make sense. So go back to my polygon mode here and start bridging here and here. Okay, and the same thing back here. And so I'm just going to bridge as far as I can until I start to run into issues with with topology. So I think I can get another one here. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Not bad. You see, it's quite controlled, quite smooth. The only thing is now I might want to delineate that glass area. I'll do that. I'll do that in a little bit here. Let's just try and get the general shape figured out. Oop, hang on. What's going on now? There we go. Okay. Let's turn off our. Go back to box mode. Okay, so now I want to start to tie this body side into the wheel opening. So I'm going to grab my merge tool and click on the front wheel arch. So now that's in polygon mode. And now once again, I'm going to start to look for how I can align things together so that when I join them, it makes sense. So you can see here, this little guy here, I'm going to move it up here. And then delete this guy here. Okay, so now when I bridge this, when I bridge this together, it makes sense. And then same thing here. Whoop. Bridge this to this. And you can see I'm getting it's getting a little bit wonky through here, so I'm going to pull this out a little bit. And I'm going to join this to this. And I've got a nice four-sided area to join here to here. And okay, so now we're getting into the front corner. That's going to get a bit tricky. So let's see what we've got right now in this area. Not bad, not bad. Let's finish off that corner. So I'm just thinking a little bit here how I'm going to approach this. What I might do is add some topology to this corner here. Okay, and then get rid of this guy here. This is going to throw the wheel arch out of round. You'll see now there's a bit of a lump in that wheel arch. We're gonna fix that once I have the polygons organized the way they should be. So again, I'm gonna get this corner here. Okay, now I'm thinking about adding something here. It won't hurt. So now I can get that front end better aligned with the wheel arch. This is all stuff you can do in Fusion. I'm showing you in Gravity because it's just so much faster. But the principles are the same. The principles really are the same as they are in Fusion. Okay, so I think I can just add a couple of extra bits here to join this together. In Fusion, you could use the bridge tool to do this. Okay, I'm going to roll this wheel arch in a bit so we get all these polygons looking nice together. And let's get this back here figured out. Okay, so now we have a complete joinery of the wheel opening to the body. So what I'm going to do now is you can see that it's a soft, right now it's a soft transition. I want to put like a nice hard little flat on there. So if I just put a little extra row of polygons, this would be an insert edge in Fusion. Or you can crease the edge in Fusion. Gravity Sketch does not do creased edges. So so just by putting that little extra edge there, I've got a tighter edge, like a hem. But you can see because I added that extra bit of topology there, it threw the wheel arch out of round. So I'm just going to start pulling these around a little bit to try and get it looking round again. That's pretty good. Let's turn on the flashlight again, see what we've got. So yeah, I just wanted this really nice, soft transition through the wheel arch. That was my intention. It's looking pretty good. Any questions so far? Anybody have questions? Let me take a sip of juice here. Mazur, did I answer your question about three-sided versus five-sided polygons? Three-sided, four-sided, and five-sided. Did I answer your question? That makes sense? Okay. While I'm waiting for Mazur to answer, I will go ahead and start to join the rear wheel arch. Oh, there goes my, I think it's time to save again. I might have another fault in my software. Yeah, my tools aren't showing up again. Okay. All right. I gotta quit out one more time here. Sometimes, let's see. Why are my, there they are. Okay, good. Okay, so I just wanted to merge the rear wheel flat with the body side. There we are. Good. Glad I answered your question. Okay, so go back to subdivisional mode. Here I might, so again, I'm trying to figure out how to join these different rows of polygons. So I'm going to try to get this and this a little bit better aligned. So first thing I'm going to do is add a joint there. And what I might do is see if I can just snap these together. There, okay, there and there, rather than just bridging. Okay. And then I'm going to bridge from here to here. No idea what that's going to look like, but let's see what happens here. All right, I can tell already that I'm going to need to rethink this door opening a little bit. Just it's a little far out for where I want this wheel flat to be. And that's why we work in 3D. I'm going to go ahead and build out this rocker. I'm going to get that and tuck that in a bit so we really see that portal. We'll do some more editing there. I want to see. Let's get this corner joined first. Okay, so I like this dark gray environment better. I think it's just a little easier on the eyes. Okay, great. Now I can select this again. For some reason, it wasn't letting me select it. Okay. Bring this up a bit. You can see I had my rear end way too low. Okay, so I just got to line my polygons again. And my wheel arch is going to go out of round, but we'll fix that. I'm going to have to add, this is where it's going to get really complicated, right in here. So it's going to take a little bit of trial and error. I'm going to add another one here, and I'm going to bridge from here to here. And from here to here. There'll be some fixing to do here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and bridge from here to here. And from here to here. This might look okay, and it might look totally wonky. Let's just continue to. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, it's a bit wonky here. You can see I've got this lump here. Part of the problem is I've got a 5-star here and a 3-star here. They're all 4-sided shapes, but the 3-star and the 5-star are causing the issue. So you can see, yeah, all these different edges. There's 5 edges coming together at a point here. And there's 3 edges coming to a point here. What I want to try and do is reorganize my polygons so that they're all 4-sided. So sometimes a 5-star is okay, sometimes it's not. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and put our flat. Let's put our wheel flat on. So let's put that extra edge there. Okay. So yeah. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get my wheel arch back to where it needs to be. Okay. So I've got some work to do in this area here to get that lump out of there. So I'm going to go back into Polygon. I mean, you can see how tortured this is right here. So what I might do first, delete this one here, and delete this one here. And I'm going to add, just for control, I'm going to add another row of polys here. Now that's going to give me a bit more control across the entire roof section. And now I can create this more cohesive cross section over the rear wheel. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, we're gonna have to fill it in. I'm gonna delete this whole edge here. At that point, and now I have a 4-sided shape. Let's see if that. So now I have all 4-sided shapes and 4-sided intersections of polygons. Let's see what we've got here. That's much better, much better. So now I have a lot more control. Let's see. So I can tighten up that corner a bit. Okay. That's good enough for now. I'm happy with that. So now, that's interesting. Okay, so I think what I want to do is put a crisp hemline around that portal. So I'm going to add another notch there, another row of edges. You can see it's now created this little flat around my door opening. I'm just deleting a few unnecessary edges here. That's not helping. Let's back that up. All right. I'm just trying to get a bit more control. So it also gives me freedom to kind of tune this surface back in towards where it should be in terms of the opening. I'm getting a nice consistent beveled section going around that opening. It's looking better. Now it's looking like it's looking a bit hollow, just right in here. I'd like to add just a little bit more visual mass there. So I think I can just pull this section out here. I think that'll help. Yeah, that helps a bit. Okay. Now, so I've got everything joined together pretty well. What I want to do now, as you can see, first of all, I got this little problem right here. And it's because I've got this five-sided shape here, so it doesn't help. There. It's a little better. Yeah, it's a little cleaner. It's not perfect, but oh yeah, you can see right there. There's a bit of a lump right there. So yeah, it's not ideal. So let's see if I can just join that to that. Now I have a six-sided joint. I got to get rid of this guy here. Now I'm back to a five-sided. I think that five-sided shape works um, because of the surface transition. So yeah, it's looking better. Okay. So now what I want to do is delineate that the upper glass. I want to delineate all of this. So I want to create like a little beveled offset. So let me just save what I've got here. Okay. So let's turn on our geometry again. Okay. And all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our cut tool. I'm going to create like this little beveled section. And we're going to use a technique that I call mitering. It's just like the corners of a picture frame. So I'm going to create a mitered corner. And I'm going to delete that. So you can see it like the corner of a picture frame. Mitered corners are a very handy tool to start to delineate graphic areas. Okay, so then I'm going to continue to go along here. Down to here. Again, I'm going to miter this corner. And then delete that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is start to create this little beveled section. And by mitering the corners, I can start to add edge loops, and it will follow that graphic you'll see in a second here. So now if I want to put a really tight edge along that roof rail, you can see right now it's very soft, not very defined. What I can do is click here, and now I have a very crisp definition that more or less follows the intention of the sketch. You can see that I'm not exactly following the sketch line, and I can just go ahead and grab these and start to make adjustments. Same thing back here. Just to get it closer to the design intent. Now, if I wanted to go in and create that as a different material, I can in Fusion. It's pretty easy. I can actually unweld it in Gravity. I don't know if there's a way to do that. But let's see, my design intent is getting more and more complete. So what I might do is, rather than, if I want to create a different material, then I've got to separate this out. So I'm gonna go and save this. Okay. Okay, it's 4:15. There's a couple more things I want to show you before we finish. Okay, so turn off my polys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete that whole windscreen and rebuild it as a separate part. So I'm going to grab so in case you're wondering, how do you create glass or a separate material? That's one area where I think sub-D modeling is at a little bit of a disadvantage to NURBS, because you can't just project and trim. Alias has solved for that in their 2020 edition. So turn on my polys. So I'm going to actually go ahead and turn off my lines layer now, because I think I have, well, actually no, I need it one more time to do my center line here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to create, grab my ribbon tool, turn it to sub-D, and I'm going to select a darker reflective material, and I'm going to rebuild that windscreen section. Only this time it's going to be a separate part. Join it at the center line, and then pull it out here. Pull it out again. And now I just got to do some editing. You can see it's close, but it needs some editing. So I'm just going to start to work the center line. Let's get the center line and the outer line correct first. Okay, now I can turn off my lines layer. And it's pretty close. Let's get it a little better. Just trying to get everything nice and consistent. A little more section on that glass. It's looking pretty good. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to do the same for the side. So first thing I'm going to do is build. I'm going to build out a like a little lip extension into the interior. I'm selecting the entire edge here. Let's turn on our grid. Okay. We can go straight in. I'm going to overbuild it because then I can just intersect the glass surface. I'm just going to go ahead and add my extra polys there just to get it nice and tight. You can see I've got a nice little extension going into the interior. And I'm just going to go ahead and edit this opening a little bit. Get it a little more consistent around here. Something like it's going in and out a little bit. So we'll know once we start building that glass plane. Okay, so Mike Herbert has a question. I'm just reading it here. Okay, so Mike says, I think I just missed this, but you're rebuilding the glass surface for design purposes or because you can't split separate surfaces in Gravity Sketch? Yeah, both. So I'm obviously I'm trying to delineate the glass as a separate material. So yeah, in Gravity Sketch I haven't I don't see there being a tool yet to just unweld one surface from another and create a separate body. So so I just deleted it and rebuilt it. But it went quick enough. I mean, it's just as quick. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and build this side glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a cross section. Okay. And I'm gonna grab the whole thing. I want to make this much wider. Okay. Edit the section a little bit. I basically want the horizon line. This were a reflective surface. I want the horizon line to kind of follow just along the tops of the wheels. So do the best we can here. So So I'm just going to extrude another section through here and another through here and one more. You can see it's running right now. It's running through the pillar. We'll fix that. So first thing I'm going to do is just try to get a nice consistent offset around this door opening. So, and I want it to be a bit more flush. So I'm just going to go in it, just start pulling polys here. Want this nice tight. Nice, tight, consistent offset. And then I'm going to start to work the corners to be more in line with the intended shape. So I'm going to take this in here, take this one in here. So now that's not a problem. And take this one forward a bit. And get a bit more puff on this thing. And that tells me that we've got a little bit of a problem right in there. It's not terrible. It's actually not that bad. I might be able to live with that. But yeah, you can see that I have some inconsistencies around these corners here. So I'm going to have to rework the body and the, so what I might just do is just bring it way in like this, and then we'll rework the body a little bit to get more consistency. We're doing on time. Okay, 4:30. I'm going to try to get this one buttoned up as quick as I can, and then I wanted to show you a couple of nifty little tricks in Gravity Sketch. So what I want to do is get this a little more consistent. And what I'm doing is I'm getting a little bit more thick to thin on this sill area. So it feels like there's a bit more strength. I'm starting to see here that I've got a bit of a problem with my A-pillar right here. So I'm gonna, just got to bring that in a little bit. Yeah, it's looking better, looking a bit more consistent. Okay. I'm just going to build a couple of quick wheel tubs. I'm going to make them in a medium gray here. So a couple of wheel tubs. Just do them in black. Just do them in black. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is this will be like a housing that blacks out the body behind the wheel. I'm going to bring all this in here. Doesn't have to be very precise because it's going to be flat black. And then what you can do is do an extrusion and scale it. Do an extrusion and scale it down like that. And add a row of polys there. So it just fills it in. And you add another row just to square off that corner. Same thing here. There we are. Okay, so and I'm just going to reassign that as a pure flat black. And I'm going to, so now you can see it's filled in. I'm going to duplicate it and take it to the rear. Actually, I'm going to turn my grid to do that. And this one will require a little bit of editing to be consistent with the other one. As you can hear, I've got laughing children in the background. So there, that one's nice and blacked out as well. The nose is looking a bit long for me, so what I can do is I can grab the whole front end and I can do a soft modification. So I have the ability to create a secondary selection sphere and keep it really big, and then I can kind of just nudge everything in a bit. It's a bit nicer. Not quite so nosy in the front. Let's just take it in a bit more. It's looking pretty good. Let's save that. There's my flashlight. Just gonna look at it with the flashlight a little bit. I'm getting pretty happy. I mean, I could keep noodling this for hours, but I think for what you guys are, for where we're at right now, I think that makes pretty good sense.